Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Normieville. Before we get started, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell. I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Today, I would like to give a tribute to Jason David Frank, okay?
I need Dragon Sword power!
And talk about his deletion and actually some events that led up to his deletion, okay? Or that happened before he decided to make this decision. Now, I was born in 1980, grew up in the 80s and 90s, of course. And when I get out of high school, I would come home and watch shows. Of course, Power Rangers was a very popular one when it came out. Of course, other shows like Martin and I think it was Batman animated series and the X-Men series, all those shows that was out in the early late 90s are very popular. And of course, Power Rangers, other shows like VR Troopers and other stuff like that, when it came out, it was kind of cutting edge, very popular. And Jason David Frank was one of my, I would say to me, and I know you've probably heard this cliche, but he was actually one of my favorites. All right. A lot of people say, well, because I'm black, that the Black Ranger is my favorite. No, it was actually Jason David Frank, and to be specific, the Green Ranger, because he was the third Ranger. When he came out, he was the most powerful. And Jason David Frank, because he was so good at his martial arts, he was always the most powerful Ranger. Now, real quick, I don't know if y'all didn't know about this, but I want to show y'all all the characters that he played real quick. This is the article here. It says all 7 of Jason David Frank's Power Ranger personas. Now, I know this is ranked, but I'm just gonna go through them because, of course, mine is the Green Ranger, which it also says in this article right here. Now, the first one he played, of course, was the White Ninja Ranger. That happened after they lost their powers and they had to go through this little ninja thing for a season. It was pretty cool, right? The next one was the Red Zeo Ranger. And after everybody lost their powers, they had to go his plan to get the Zeo crystals and all that. And again, he was one of the leading Rangers because I think they lost one at that time. This was at the end of Mighty Morphin going into Zeo, I believe. Now, if you go down some more, just the Red Turbo Ranger. I didn't watch this series a whole lot. I've seen mostly all of them here and there. I know I'm a grown man, but after I graduated and went to the military, I still watched it a little bit. So I try to keep up with all the series because there's so many of them. Here we go. The Black Dino Thunder Ranger. That was pretty cool. Now, there was an episode he was actually in a few months ago where he actually morphed into like 4 of these. He morphed to the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Black Ranger, and I believe also the Red Ranger. So, but this one's a pretty cool one too. And then again, this was one of the most powerful Rangers right here. And of course, everybody can't forget the White Ranger. After he lost his green powers, he was gone for like a season, I think. And then he came back because they needed him again. And he got the White Ranger powers. And that's when he had the little sword. They would morph into, and he would go get the White Tiger, or I believe the White Tiger Zord. That was pretty cool too. I like that. And an honorable mention here, Lord Drakkon. Now, this was an alternate, I guess, Power Ranger universe. This was promoting a particular comic book in the Power Ranger universe, where in the alternate universe, he was actually working with Rita, which was one of the original bosses in the Mighty Morphin series. In another universe, he was working with Rita to destroy the world, because in the normal timeline, Rita was an enemy and she recruited him, but the Power Rangers were able to bring him back to reality, or bring his mind back from out of control, bring his mind back from being mind controlled. And he was a good guy. But in this universe, he was a bad guy. He was actually able to also mix the Green and White Ranger powers. That's why the suit looks like green and white at the same time. I know I'm kind of nerd here, but just hear me out. And of course, number 1, we can't forget the Green Ranger, because that's the one that set his whole career off, because he was the best at it. He was whooping everybody's butt all the time. But you see that right there, right? A little brief history of all his Power Ranger characters. Of course, he worked with other people to do little mini series and things like that. He also, I believe, did combat for a little while because he was so good. But in any case, let's go to the article. I know I'm like kind of day late on this one, but there's a reason. Let's check this out. Of course, right here, TMZ was the first ones to report this. Unfortunately, as you can see here, Power Ranger Jason David Frank dead by deletion, self-deletion at 49. And yes, I'm using self-deletion because the algorithm of YouTube, there are certain words that if you say them, it kind of slows you down a little bit. So self-deletion, you know what that means, right? So let's read a little bit more. It says here, Walter Jones, who played the Black Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, tells TMZ he was an inspiration to so many people. His presence will be dearly missed. It's so sad to lose another member of our Ranger family. He adds, Jason was one of the biggest pranksters on the show. He had a wild sense of humor. We had our shares of ups and downs, but I stayed consistent about being an ear if he needed one. My prayers go out to his family and all that will miss him. Yes, in my opinion, he will be missed. In the Power Rangers lore, folklore, whatever you want to call it, he was a staple in it. And he embraced his character. Every time people would see him, he was always, do the Power Ranger thing. He was loved by many. And again, he was childhood hero to a lot of people. Jason David Frank was one of the original Power Rangers, has passed away. TMZ has learned that the actor and mixed martial artist passed away in Texas. According to his rep, Justine Hunt, sources with direct knowledge tell us his deletion was a result of self-deletion. JDF was best known as Tommy Oliver from the original run of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers franchise dating back to the kids series debut in 1993. And that was a long time ago. When he was introduced as one of the 6 crime monster fighting superheroes, he maxed his head to toe with kung fu skills. Yes, he was very, very good at it. I'm not going to play this video. You guys can go on YouTube. You'll see all about his characters. Again, he was very good at what he did. Fans will remember, he started out as the Green Ranger in season 1. Introduced first as an enemy to the Power Rangers, only to do a 180 and become good after his power started to deteriorate. However, he turned into the White Ranger, as tapped as the new leader of the group. Frank starred as one of the leads for 3 seasons, totaling 123 episodes. Yes, he has been in a lot of series. His character, along with the Red Ranger original character, has been in several series of this episode because of the franchise, because they were so popular and therefore important to the franchise. Frank went on to reprise his role as Tommy in several adaptations of the Power Rangers, including Wild Force, Turbo, Zeo, Dino Thunder, Megaforce, Ninja Steel, Hyperforce, and more. He has been a Red Ranger, a Black Ranger, and a Green Ranger anew. JDF is a fan favorite, yes he is, Power Ranger, which is why he returns to the franchise time and time again. His on-screen fighting abilities translated into the real world. Let me scroll a little bit. Translated into the real world, Frank was a professionally trained MMA brawler who was well-versed in everything from Taekwondo, Muay Thai, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and others. He fought professionally for a time from 2008 to 2010. He is survived by his 4 children. As you can see, this is very tragic. A lot of people have talked about this, his untimely passing, and there have been a lot of well-wishers and people that have expressed their sadness in his passing because he was so well-loved. A lot of people met him. I think he was at a comic event not too long ago, and a lot of people had saw him. So he was 49 years old when he passed, by the way. So let's go to this other article that talks about some of the events that happened at the time of his passing. Some of the events that happened up until they found him, or he was found in his last state. This is also from TMZ. They broke this not too long ago, 12/22, that is today. It says here, scroll up, Power Rangers, Jason David Frank wife called cops after heated argument, his body discovered in a hotel room. Now, again, you can, I will leave it to your own conclusions about this, but this just outlines what happened or some of the events that happened until, again, he was discovered to be deceased. It says here, the entire Power Rangers fandom is reeling over the deletion of star Jason David Frank, and we've learned about the sequence of events in the hours leading up to his self-deletion. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ Jason and his wife Tammy checked into a Texas hotel Friday. We were told the two were in the middle of a divorce. Unfortunately, got separate rooms, but at some point the estranged couple got into an argument in Tammy's room. We were told staffers were called to calm things down and peace was restored. Now again, this is his second marriage, I believe. And I believe in this marriage, I believe he was married for, I think 19 years from what I heard. You can do your research, of course. And so this seemed to be tumultuous at the end, I guess. But we'll read some more. Our law enforcement sources say at some point, either late Friday night or early Saturday morning, the two got into another argument and Jason locked Tammy out of his room. Our sources say Tammy was apparently concerned for his safety and called the cops around 5 a.m. Saturday morning. When officers couldn't make contact with Jason, we're told hotel management let them in and they discovered the actor hanged himself in the bathroom. Now, this is very sad. Again, I don't know what he was going through mentally. They said he was going through divorce. And if you do some research, you'll find out that this is actually about to be his second divorce. Of course, like I say, he survived by 4 children. I don't know by which wife, but in any case, he had children, an ex-wife, and a soon-to-be another ex-wife. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the argument entailed, but they got to argument. They split up, and next thing you know, he's in his bathroom and he's deceased. Says here, TMZ broke the story of the 49-year-old's deletion. We're told Jason passed away by self-deletion. Jason is survived by his 4 kids. His rep told us he loved his family, friends, and fans very much. He will truly be missed. And of course, if you know someone who is struggling or in crisis, help is available. There's a number to the self-deletion hotline. Again, if you are feeling that way, I would also urge you to call this hotline or reach out to somebody that you know you can confide in that will be able to help you with your troubles, okay? But here's the deal. Jason David Frank is no longer with us. He will be truly missed. He was a staple in the Power Rangers franchise. He was very good at martial arts, which was one of the reasons why he was able to keep coming back. Besides, his character was always loved. He was always a leader in all of his characters. He always seemed to be the focal point in all the storylines, and he was able to somehow save the Power Rangers from possible demise almost every time. And his storyline seemed to have a bit of growth in him pretty much from the start. He will be missed. I hope that his family and his friends are all well-wished and able to grieve and get help in their time of need here. And yeah, R.I.P. David Frank. That's my time. I'm done talking about it. Again, thank you for joining another episode of Normieville. I'm just a normie trying to bring you the news in sports, politics, and entertainment. Please hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell on your way out. And I will see you on the next video.